Your classroom environment is a big part of your classroom management plan, and it speaks. But what does your classroom environment say? In this video, I will talk about how important your classroom environment is to your classroom management. And stay tuned to the end because I will be giving you some quick tips on how to make the most out of your classroom environment. Hi there, I'm Ms. Celeste, your co-teacher and former classroom teacher, and I help new preschool teachers develop efficient systems and processes for effective classroom management. And if you're looking for a place for new preschool teachers to share your wins, your lessons learned, while also getting some tips and tricks about classroom management, go ahead and join my Facebook group. The link is in the description. Now, let's get started. The classroom environment can affect the way children feel and behave. Think about how you feel when you go into a store that makes you feel anxious or frustrated. Ask yourself, why does it make you feel that way? Well, children in your classroom feel the same way. A classroom should say that it is safe, that you belong, that you can trust it, that you can be curious and explore here, and you can be comfortable. So when planning your environment, you have to keep in mind that you want to make it welcoming and pleasant so that the children will want to be there. Classroom environment is often an overlooked pillar of classroom management. The environment, the space, the materials all allow children to explore and engage. And when children are engaged in those things and your wonderful lessons, you are less likely to have misbehaviors. Even the Reggio Emilia approach considers the classroom the third teacher. The environment can do many things. Among them are encourage active learning, allow children to use materials easily and effectively, promote social interactions, allow children to easily navigate independently, and yes, curb undesired behavior. So you want to create a classroom environment that supports your classroom management plans and expectations instead of hindering them. Some questions you may want to ask yourself when setting up or rearranging your classroom are the children able to get the materials off the shelves themselves? Do the children know where the materials are or how to use them? Are children able to reach the items they want or need? Can they tell what's inside the containers just by looking at them? The point of all this is to make sure that we have built the classroom environment for the children and not for ourselves. And doing so can prevent those potential problems and frustrations. When I first started teaching, I spent a lot of time arranging my room as to how I wanted it, but I forgot one thing, that it's not about me, it's about the children. So I needed to look at the classroom as if through the eyes of a child and look at my room, my furniture, my shelves. Like for instance, I have a puzzle rack that I put on top of the shelf. And although it looked great there and it saved room in the actual shelf, it wasn't a good choice because the children couldn't see the puzzle choices because it was too high. Simply adjusting something like that can change your children's experience and prevent them from getting upset or discouraged. After looking through the eyes of a child, then you want to look for blind spots in your classroom. If you stand in any area of your classroom, you should be able to see what the children are doing. So when you are arranging or rearranging your classroom, you have to make sure that you are not obstructing the view of the areas in your class. One day I was cleaning out some paperwork at home and I found my philosophy of education from college. And I decided to read it over, just to see if my philosophy had changed at all during these years. I read that the classroom environment was an instrumental piece in influencing students' behavior and learning. Well, that definitely hasn't changed after all this time. And I had come to realize that the classroom environment is a major part of an effective classroom management plan. When I wrote that, I didn't realize how true that was. And there are lots of things that you don't realize until you step in your actual classroom. I also know that there are a lot of things that you could try to do to manage your classroom, but I would like you to consider, depending on the issues that you're having in your classroom, looking at your actual physical environment to see if there's something that you could change that could eliminate those problems. So now let me give you a few quick tips to help you with your classroom environment. But before I do that, go ahead and tap the follow button on my IG for more tips. Alright, number 1. If you decide to change things around in your room, make sure that the children are told or shown any new changes. This will give them a chance to know what's coming and a chance to acclimate. Number 2, if you want to find classroom materials and save money, garage sales are a great way to find things cheap. You'll find people whose children have outgrown things, or even retired or retiring teachers who want to declutter. Number 3, sometimes less is more, and having your class look too busy or cluttered will make it difficult for the children to focus because there's so many things to focus on. So whatever you put on your walls, make sure that it has a purpose and it's not just there to cover up empty space or to look pretty. Speaking of clutter, make sure that you are taming your paper clutter as well. So anything that can be filed, make sure it's filed that same day. Anything that can go home, make sure that it goes home that same day. Because you don't want your paper clutter to start affecting the other parts of your classroom and the children. Believe me, I've been there and done that. And the last one is to download my free guide, 3 ways to create a successful preschool classroom environment, and the link is in the description. It's so simple, but we often forget. If there are behavior issues in your classroom, or if children are getting frustrated throughout the day, it may be related to the classroom environment. So I suggest looking at your classroom from a child's point of view. I'll ask that question from the top of the video again. What does your classroom environment say? So I hope you heard some valuable gems in this video. And if you have, please give this video a like so other new preschool teachers can find it. And while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe so that you know when the next video will be posted. Until then, I'll see you soon. Bye!